Okay, good afternoon, folks. Uh, it's been a little while I haven't been with you, but it's good to be here tonight. I'd like to thank you all who has been following us. Thank you for your comment, your feedbacks. One thing I can tell you all that I appreciate everything you continue to do for us. Thank you for liking our page and sharing our show. Now, I know over the past time I inform you all that we were working on a system to be able to bring you our content better. And I can say to you all that we have reached another progress in effort to get that done. We signed up to a software where we will be able to reach you wider, and this is what I'm even testing and to see how good it is. And so that's one thing I wanted to share with you. And so we also created our YouTube channel. So I'll encourage you all to subscribe to our channel by liking it and subscribing to the page. I will also give you my handle Facebook, obviously. On Facebook, the name is Nush Saki, but the page is called the Deep Mind Podcast. Okay. Um, so I will be providing more of those details, but just so you know, and again, I want to say thank you. But tonight, I want to address something very important. It might not be important to some of our friends who will be listening to this in terms of our friends who are from different country, because it might not have a direct involvement with you. But specifically, I want to speak to my brothers and sisters from the native land of Liberia, a small country of technically today 5.7 million people, a country that has a coastline of about 36,000 miles long, a country that was founded on Christian principle, a country that is proud to say they were the first independent African country that gained their independence in 1847, a country that is proud to say they produced the first female elected president in Africa, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, a country that is also proud to say they were the first country that produced, in the world of soccer, the first African player to win the world best title, which today we refer to as the Ballon d'Or, the first African to win the African best title, the first African to win the European best title. All of this happened in one year, in 1995. His name is George Opon Weah, a country that is also proud to be the first nation in history in Africa to declare its independence. I'm speaking to that country and its people today because what I am about to share and pour out my heart to, it is directly affecting the citizens of that particular beautiful country, Liberia. Whether you are currently living in Liberia or not, but as long as you have tied to that nation, this is going to upset you. This is going to This is going to help you to rethink. I hope. So, like I said, for those of my friends and our listeners who are not from Liberia, this might not entirely bother you. And I'm sorry for that. But I want to speak to my people today. I want to speak to Liberians today who will be listening to me. Regardless of what tribe you find yourself, whether you are Bassa, Mandingo, Loma, Pele, Gil, whatever you come from in Liberia, I want to speak to you today. And here is what I want to talk about: the actions, the behavior, the conduct of our people, and particularly our leader. And I'm going to pick out one person today that I'm going to speak directly to. And I know many of you will agree with me, and why some will not, which I respect. But I want to speak to one individual and his conduct. And that person is no one but the Honorable Yekeh Kolubah of District Number 10, Masurata County. This is a man who people of District Number 10 in Masurata County has chosen to be their direct representation to the House of Parliament. I don't know the number of people who live in District Number 10, but I'm just going to take a wild guess here. A constituent of 2,000 people, for example, decided that among all of them, this man is the best person to represent their interest to the House of Parliament. That is the man I want to speak to today. You know, quite recently there was a news that was put out there that he was being investigated by his colleagues in the House. And of late, I've heard that he has been expelled from the House of Parliament. Many of you may not agree with why this has happened, but I want to tell you why I think this happened. But before I do so, let me talk about this man a little bit. Mr. Yekeh, Honorable Yekeh Y. Kolubah. Sir, I want to say I greet you. I come to you today in peace. I thank you for your service to the people of Liberia. But I want to say to you that how you go about agitating for the change that you want to see, it's the problem for us. I know you have a message. This is a man who has been very controversial throughout his political career. May I remind you that during the time as representative under the administration of Joseph Barker, he stood up. He spoke loudly. His voice resounded well with the people. He agitated for change, condemning government for things that it did. This is the man who supported the Unity Party-led government. According to him, although I do not have data to support that, but he said he has used his finances to campaign for this president, Joseph Yuma Boaka, the Unity Party-led government. So we know he has people that listen to him. Is he agitating for change? Yes. Is it agitating to have a better system of government? Yes. And all of that I support. But one thing that I do not support, Mr. Honorable Yekeh Kolubah, is the how. It's how you go about agitating for these things. It's how you speak about these things. That is what is affecting you. That is why today you are being expelled, if that is true, from the House of Parliament. It is not because you are agitating for change. It is not because what you are saying does not resonate with the people. Of course it does, because they listen to you. But how you say it, that is why you don't have the support that you need to back you. Because you see, the words of your message does not resonate with the wider educated group. But yet we want to gain state power. We want to agitate for change. But the message is right, but the how is wrong. How you do it is wrong. I know you have a loud voice. Everyone knows that. Everyone can see that you want the best for the Liberian people. There's no doubt about it. But how you say it is what is causing you the problem. No one wants you as an honorable man representing 2 or 3 thousand people to speak in foul languages like the way you do. No one wants that, because the office that you occupy is an office that carry integrity, responsibility, and morality. So when you speak in the manner of how you do it, it brings the entire institution on which you serve to public disrepute. It is not the message, it's how you do it. That is why today you see some of your colleagues did not support. They signed a resolution to get you out. They're not getting you out of there because you agitating for change. They are getting you out of there because how you do it is bringing their entire institution to public disrepute. That's why 49 of them signed, according to the information, to expel you. So, sir, I plead with you. I plead with you that even if a reconciliation was to happen and your colleague decides not to expel you but to suspend you for a period of time, please, I take God to beg you, sir. Continue to agitate for the change that we want to see happen in our country, but change how you do it. Because we have seen that how you do it is not welcome by the majority. Yes, there are few people who accept it, they embrace it, they welcome it, but majority do not love how you do it. They love the message, but they do not like the way and how you do it. Stop insulting in your message. You can be radical, you can be specific in your message to the people, but you can still be civilized. There are hundreds of people out there. There are people in the House of Representatives, in which you formerly serve if you've been expelled, that they love the message. They want to embrace that with you. They want to fight with you in agitating for the change. But they are afraid because of the way you speak. The how is wrong. They do not want to be associated with a man who go and sin. They do not want to associate with a man who go and use foul languages against people in higher authority, even though he stands in a position of power. They don't want that. And that's why they shy away from you. They see you slowly and slowly and slowly and slowly dying in your agitation, but yet the message is clear, but the how is wrong. I mean, look today, let me remind you, look today to Prophet Key. Why do you think he had so much people following him and supporting him? They were supporting him because of the message that he had. But a lot of them drew of how he carried on his message. Insult is not the key. Look today where he is. He is languishing behind bars in Liberia. Not because he was agitating for change. No, because of how he went about doing. Where is morality, Mr. Yekeh Kolubah? Is it not possible that we can agitate for change without using profanity? Of course, it's possible. You know, it reminds me of the story that is told in the Bible about two prophets, by the way, who had a powerful message to deliver, but they chose two different ways of doing it. Mr. Kolubah, can you please agree with me to take on the message and the how of this prophet that I'm about to share with you? Prophet Nathan. The Bible tells us in the story that Nathan had a message to deliver to the king, agitating for change of his people. But he chose to do it in a different way, even though the message was clear. Here's how he did it. A story is told that Nathan approached the king and said, "Oh, king, I'm here to tell you that there is a man who had all the power. He has everything to his disposal. When he speaks, people listen and do not question him. But there was also this man, a poor man who had nothing but just one thing. And this man who had everything and all the power decided to take this only thing that belongs to this poor man. He took it away from him. And this poor man was so angry, but he could not do nothing because he did not have the power. And then the king turned around to him and said, "Oh, Nathan, who is that man? How can that man be so evil with all that he have to go and take away something that this little man had only? How can these be so wicked and evil? Nathan, who is that man? That man do not deserve to live," the king said. "Bring him here to me." And Nathan said to him, "Oh, king, live forever. That man The man in which you have just expressed your outrage because of his actions, that man is you. Can you see the power in the message? Nathan is going to agitate for a change. He's going to speak to the man who had the power to slaughter him. He's going to speak to a man who had the power to eliminate him. He's going to speak the truth to this man. But how he chose to express that truth was different. But yet, the message was clear. And when the king heard that message, the king got outraged and said, "Who is that man?" Not knowing that he was the very person Nathan was talking about. Look at that. So, honorable, I want you to adopt that. I want you to adapt that message. But today, the prophet that you are following is like the prophet in the story that is told in the Bible of the prophet called John the Baptist. John. John the Baptist had a message to the people, but the matter and how was wrong, and that is why his head was cut off, according to Bible. Because he went and told the king in the face of the king, he condemned the king. He told the king how hideous and evil he was. Was it the right message? Yes, it was the right message. But the how was wrong. And that's why he landed the way he did. And so to you, Honorable Kolubah, that is the method that you have adopted. That is why today you have been expelled by your colleagues. Not because you are agitating for change. No, because the how is wrong. You see, when we embrace the things that is around us and agitate for the right things to be done in a different way, people will support you. The message will be clearer and you will get the support that you need. Here's how, my honorable, I plead with you, please adapt this. And to every other person out there who is agitating for change, let us change the way we are doing it. By insult will not change it. Insult, profanity, derogatory comment against people will not change the system. It will not. Here's what will change the system. And now is the time that we must embrace it. What will change the system is through power of the mind will change the system. Power of the mind. How long have we not agitated for change and still go ahead and do exactly the same thing? It's not going to change like that, folks. What is going to change is the power of the mind. Let me give you an example. Today, you are in opposition. You are championing for change. You are speaking out. You have the loudest voice in the country. Here's what you can do with that. If we want change, one, we must recognize the changes, the progress, and development of this current administration. administration. Why it is true that we are agitating for change, we are condemning the government for the missteps, we must also be cognizant of the fact that the true and reality exists, that there are some progress that this government has initiated, has established. We must recognize that. Because you see, once we recognize that there are some progress being made, we outline some of the development agenda of this current administration, we buy into the people who support that administration. We buy into their mind because they know that we are not just agitating because we want power. We are agitating because we want a continuous change and development of our country. And so that is why we recognize the current changes that is being done, the few steps in government that is being done, but we are agitating for more because we are aware that we are capable of doing more. It is not lost on anyone in Liberia to see there has been some progress and development of this government. Of course, people can see the tangibles. Is that enough? The answer is no. Can we do better? The answer is yes. And so the betterment, the agitation, our anger and energy must also be exerted on the fact that there has been some changes. And so when we embrace that, then we draw onto our brothers and say, look, we thank your government for doing this one, but we are equally saying they can do better. But when we deny ourselves the fact to see that and only focus on the negativity side of things, then what we do is we divide the country into two. Because there are people who will see the facts and there are people who will blindly follow. So that is what I say, in order for the system to change, we must change our mind. We can't continue like this. We cannot continue like this. Look around us. How is it not true to see some of the changes that have been made by this government, to acknowledge it, but yet call on them to do more? Why do we have to blind our eyes as though it is not happening? So, Mr. Honorable, please, sir, I'm here today. Look, when it hurts me to see a man who has so much potential, so much potential. And today, he's all over the news by these headlines. Can't you believe this? He's on the news. Look, Yekeh Kolubah expelled. Yekeh Kolubah breaks silence. And I can just go down and down and down and down and show you more headlines topic of this man. Look, Capitol Hill lawmaker denied signing Yekeh Kolubah petition. Look at the face of him that our news outline has been portraying of him. In fact, I'm tempted to play a video of him and listen to his voice himself.
This country is for all of us. I've been asked on so many occasions to go and beg Mr. Boakai for him to have clemency on me. If I do that, that means I betray the thoughts of the Liberian people. I have been asked by people, say, leave the country. You have to leave the country. I say, I cannot leave the people. I brought the government to power, and the Liberian people are something we need to be here. And I know Mr. Boakai has instructed that I be arrested.
That is the voice I'm talking about. His voice sounds louder than you can think. People listen to him. But the ways is the problem. The language is the issue. Now, the video you saw me play was after he has been expelled by his colleagues from the house. And he's talking to journalists. But you see, so his voice is good. People listen to his voice. But the how is the problem.
Former representative of the 54th legislature.
So I tell you, that is the problem. That is the problem. And so, please, my fellow Liberian, I want to plead with all of us that we can do better. We can agitate for change. We can speak out so loudly about the wrongdoing of the government. But let us do it with some level of civility. Are we saying that we cannot use better words to address the situation that we find ourselves? Could Mr. Kolubah not capable of discussing the issue without going down to using profanity? Look what it has led him to. And sadly, Mr. Honorable, I want to say to you that in as much as it saddens me to say this, but I have to say that if you are expelled and leaves the House of Representatives, and you are no longer in a position of power and authority, I want to say this to you, that voice will die. No one will listen to you again. You will no longer have the influence that you enjoy today. You will no longer have the authority that you enjoy today. You will no longer have the proximity to powerful people, to influential people that you have today. Don't get it twisted. The only reason why people gravitated to you, people pay attention to you, people run to you, people wanted to listen to you is because of your position of authority. When that slips away, the name and the brand is dead. I mean, look around you. Look to past representatives and senators. They were never expelled. At the time they were in the position of authority, their name were a household name. But the moment they exit out of that position, they are dead. People don't care about them. People don't listen to them. Why? Because that is how our system is set up. So do not think for once that when you step out of being representative, you will have the influence you have today. I am sorry to say to you that is not true. Here is the second thing that is also not true, Mr. Kolubah, that you will no longer be able to represent any district in the Republic of Liberia again. Not because you've been expelled or unconstitutionally or unconstitutional ground or whatever. It will be because even if you were allowed legally, constitutionally to contest, you will not win any more elections because you betrayed your people. You didn't betray them in speaking out. You didn't betray them in representing them, but you betrayed them in the how you represented them. You brought shame to them. Do you know what it means for an honorable man representing a group of people to be expelled because of misconduct? He failed his people. And that is why he will no longer be able to represent any other group of people. I mean, think about it this way, my friends. That's why it hurts me. Think about it this way. I remember when we were growing up in school, the best were the one that represent our class as class president. Not academically best, but logically right. The best was also academically brilliant. They were the one who represented our school. They were the one who represented our class. I mean, back in that time, when you say this is the president of year 9, people respect him a whole because they were choosing on the basis of some excellence. And equally so, those people who represent our schools as school president were technically the best. And that is the same kind of concept that should be applied to when these people come to us to represent them, to represent us to the House of Representatives and Senator. What we are essentially saying among all of us, this is the best. that can speak on our behalf. And so when that bet fails, the rest of the people are shadows. That is what you've done to the people of District number 10 in Maserati County. So, Honorable, I plead with you. Although you stated that you're not going to get on your knees to beg the president, which I don't expect you to do, but let me get on my knees and beg of you. You don't know me. I've never interacted with you. I look forward to the day that I have the opportunity to interact with you because I will be able to look in your face, eyeball to eyeball, and tell you, thank you for what you've done, but please change the how. But since I don't have the opportunity to address you face to face, I hope this video reach you. And I hope you spare some time to listen to me because I love you, Honorable. Your voice means a lot to the people of Liberia, but change on how you deliver this powerful message that you have. Agitating for change. Change how you do it. Don't go insulting. Don't do it. You can challenge the government on policy differences, on campaign premises, on election premises. You can challenge the government on that without insulting anyone, without using profanity, without denigrating the office that you represent, without bringing the people of District number 10 civility, morality into question. Please, I'm on my knees begging of you, Honorable. We can do better than that. Today, I chose specifically to talk to you because I know you have a voice that resonates with the people. But how you do it is what the problem. I know there are people who wants to support you, but they can't because the how is wrong. So please, I beg of you, reconsider how you do what you do. Please. Today, there are few of you, representatives and senators, who are not happy with what is happening. Oh, yes, morality would tell us that it is wrong of what the 72 and 30 of these people, men and women, are doing to our country. Some of them did not know how bad it was until they got into it. They want it to change, but they know that it can only change through power of the mind. They are looking for someone who will help them fight this battle of the mind. Because you see, the mind Your mind is everything. When a man wants to control you, the first thing he tries to do is to get into your head, your mind. He takes charge of it. And every other thing you will follow. So in order for us to change this thing that is happening in Liberia, it begins with the mind. How is it possible? How is it acceptable? How is it morally acceptable that few group of people can sit there and decide the decision, the way for the rest of the people? But yet this decision is made not in the interest of the massive, but in the interest of these few people. How is it acceptable? How is it acceptable? Why is it that, the problem is just so many. And they are many because we have been captive in our mind. They have taken charge of us, that we no longer are able to think out of the box, to see it for what it is. That is why today we have so many political parties. We have people just running from one party to the other wherever they see that they can align themselves with power. So please, Honorable, I took this time to address you and you only, because I believe in your word. I just want to set how you carry on. If you change it, we will join you. For some of us, we are nobody. We accept that. But through you and through others, we can work together to make the desired change, that our land can once more be a sweet land of liberty, a sweet land of liberty, a land that was established on Christians' principles. How is it possible that a land that we declare was formed on Christian principle? What are those Christian principles are we exhibiting today? Who has bewitched us? Because if we truly believe that this land was founded on Christian principle, that principle should be seen in all of our activities, from the top level of government down. Because the principle of Christianity is not the principle of massive corruption. It's not the principle of self-indulgence. It's not the principle of stealing and grabbing everything to yourself. That's not the Christian principle. The Christian principle talks about looking after your neighbor. The Christian principle that I know talks about willingness to serve and giving kindness, meekness, self-control. Do unto others as you will have them do unto you. The Christian principle that I know talks about peace, kindness, meekness, grace. Is that the Christian principle that we are exhibiting in our offices today? When we are discussing the budget in the House of Representatives and Senators, when these people are discussing the country budget, are they thinking about the Christian principle that should inform their decision on how allocations are made in budget to benefit the people? Or are they more considerate of increasing their own salary and benefits to make it legal so that they can enrich themselves? But yet the Cody is my legal entitlement. You made it legal by passing law in the House of Parliament, because by doing so is legal now on the book for you to grab those money. Is that the Christian principle that we were on? We were founded on? Sorry. So you can argue, I've done nothing wrong. It's legal. But did you think that how is it okay for one man should be on a salary of 5,000 US dollars, but yet he have an allowances and other benefit of more than that? His benefits and salary is more than his take home wages. But he claimed that it is legal because he made it legal according to the law. But does it align with morality in the Christian principle that this beautiful nation was founded on? The answer is no. How can we change that? We can only change that by changing the way we think. Until we change the way we think about these things, it's never going to change. I mean, think to yourself, Mr. Representative, and I'm addressing you, Mr. Kolubah. Think to yourself, how is it reasonable and logical that as a representative, the whole people should pay for your security, for your driver, for the electricity in your house, for petrol that you use in your car, for everything that you do, wash your clothes, do this one, and you put those things in the budget as entitlement. You alone enjoy all of that. But yet, the government hospital, where the massive should attend to seek healthcare, you allocate very small portion of money to fund that particular hospital. How is that morally acceptable? When these people, the common people, people of district number 10 get sick, they goes to the hospital. They cannot get health care because you forgot to remember that when the budget was before you passed a budget that funded the hospital very minute and increase your salary and benefits. So when they go to the hospital and cannot get health care, they come back to you and begging you for something to help them to seek medical help. And yet you complain that because they do these things, that's why you corrupt. On the other hand, you are able to fly out into Ghana and other countries to seek medical assistance. Why? Because you have the financial ability to do so. But here's what I get to tell you, Mr. Kolubah, and the rest of the other senators and representatives. You people, if you truly want the system to change, it starts with you. It's that the power exists in your mind to change this system. Let me give you an example. Think about it this way. If you reduce your benefits and salary and put more money into healthcare to fund the government hospitals, and you set up an oversight committee to make sure that those money that you have allocated to fund the government hospital, for example, the John F. Medical Center, is adequately funded. You set an oversight committee to watch the activities of the hospital to make sure that those money are used for its internal purposes. When different homes in your district and come to tell you that, oh, honorable, please help my child. My child is sick. I need $10 to take them to my hospital. You can confidently tell them, no, you don't need that. Go to the JFK Medical Center because you have been represented by me through the budget there and you shall get treatment. Why are you confident to say that? It's because you know that you have funded the hospital and it should meet the needs of your people. So when they go there and get treatment, they are happy. They don't need to beg you. And if the John F. K. Medical Center, which you have adequately funded, is not using the money for its internal purposes, and there are reports that patients are still going there and not seeking treatment, you have the right to call those people who manage that organization, call them to give an account of their stewardship because you have funded that hospital to meet the capacity it needs for your people. That is the representation. That is the oversight responsibility that you have. And so you wouldn't have to spend $10, $15, $20 to member of your community for healthcare because there is a government agency there that is ready to cater to their needs. It is funded by their representation through you. That is what you need to do. It starts from the mind. So please, Honorable, as I close, again, I want to say, your voice is powerful. But how you carry on this message is wrong. I look forward to the day that I'm able to speak to you, whether face to face or on the telephone. And I will tell you this. I love you, Honorable. I like your passion. I love your agitation. Your zealousness to see this change happen is admirable. Your commitment to see the betterment of the people of District Number 10 is admirable. But how you go about doing it is condemnable. That is what I condemn. Thank you. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you all, guys. And I'll be back when you see me again. Good day.